This is Member Monday, and the topic is telecommunications, the impact of 5G. And our speaker today is Scott Danielson. He is a strategic partner with Schooley Mitchell. Scott is a graduate of MIT and Kellogg. He has 17 years of experience in solar energy manufacturing and 10 years of manufacturing consulting experience. As you just heard, he recently moved to Virginia from Massachusetts in 2017. And he just started this Schooley Mitchell franchise to help local businesses save money. So, Scott, we again want to welcome you to the Chamber of Commerce and turn it over to you to facilitate your first Member Monday, Telecommunications, the impact of 5G.
And it's kind of good that you mentioned the problems, some of the problems and issues that we can have with technology, because that's kind of why I picked this. Our company got started in telecommunications, and that was the first thing that we had a couple of accountants start the company, and they realized that people were paying sort of all over the map for telecommunications services, so they thought there was an opportunity there, and that was in 1998, and they've been growing strong ever since, and added several other categories to the list that we look at for cost reduction. So I'm not really a tech geek or an expert on telecommunications, but being in Earlysville, I'm not sure how many of you are outside of the city, but with the way things are, I started reading a little bit more about 5G, because we do, again, get a lot of posts and things from our company on telecom. And it really caught my eye, and I thought it was something worth sharing where we're going with 5G, in the coming months and years. So, there's a few other things in telecom trends I was going to talk about, but then I decided really the only one I really cared about, and hopefully everybody else will care too, is 5G. Xfinity goes like 3 houses down from where I am, and they're pretty much never going to get to my house in Earlysville. And so I have DSL from CenturyLink, but that's certainly got some limitations. The other day, everybody's home. My daughter's doing school from home, and my wife's working from home as well, and we had 1 megabits per second download service at the time. And that's really hard to function with. So when I was looking into 5G, and I kind of like this slide, 5G really doesn't mean anything more than it's the 5th generation. And when that came out, and again, I still have an iPhone 7, so I'm not on the leading edge of technology, certainly, but and then 5G came out, it's like, okay, great, 3G, 4G, 5G, and didn't really think too much of it until I started reading a little bit more. Let's see, and technology here with the slides. This is kind of what really caught my attention. So there's big differences between 3G, 4G, and 5G. 5G, as you can read from the slide, it is a lot faster than 4G is, to the point where the example that they used was E.T. the movie, which I'm sure most people are familiar with. But even on 4G, it would take 10 minutes to download, and 5G, just 3 seconds, a matter of seconds before the movie would download. And again, with my DSL, if we go to rent a movie on demand, we get that dreaded buffering thing, and it's really not the greatest service in the world, certainly for being able to do things like this. Things are different for businesses, but now that everybody's working from home for the most part, or certainly a lot more of the technology is a lot more important to make sure that you get good performance. So in order to be able to do that, they had many aggressive and impressive performance targets to design their 5G networks. Again, almost 100% availability and coverage. We're certainly not there yet. And I'll get to that to another sort of pet peeve and issue with Earlysville, I guess. But the bandwidth is much better, and the Internet of Things has the opportunity to really lower the battery life on those devices. So right now, almost everything is connected to the internet, and the 5G performance is really going to allow that to happen much better. Like if you take the Super Bowl as an example in the past, that's something where everybody in the stadium would have been able to download video and stream that from the stadium based on 5G, whereas on 4G, it doesn't quite have that technology. If that many people were to use it, you can see here it shows that the spectrum that 4G uses compared to 5G, and they would be overloaded and wouldn't be able to keep up with that. 5G, because of again, some sort of technical things that I didn't want to get into too much, nor could I probably explain very well, but with the millimeter wave frequency, it opens up a lot more of the spectrum so that it's not nearly as crowded and can get a lot more connections to it compared to previous generations with the certainly even with the 4G, it was much smaller for being able to do that. And the second part, and I'll come back to Earlysville on this slide, it also is capable of longer waves that can pass through obstacles. So I've even trying to get rid of my DSL had people come out that have a 4G network, but it won't go through the trees next to my house. So even though I can, if I walk out to the end of my driveway, I can probably see the small mountain that's got the antennas on it, but it won't reach to my home because of the trees surrounding the area. So 5G has two big advantages over 4G. One is the ability to reach a bigger area and get to that 100% coverage level that is one of their targets, but also be able to go through obstacles and provide service. The 4G company that I was dealing with wouldn't even, and they're new, so they wouldn't give me service, even though it's probably better than my DSL, because they didn't want any risk of it not performing to their standards. Since they were new, they really wanted this to work very well. They are, to their credit, anything that they're installing is capable of 5G, which is kind of a bigger deal because you need 5G devices to be able to use the 5G network. And for us, my company, that's an issue because you do end up with increasing prices at first until it's readily available, and then expect it to be able to provide excellent internet service with lower prices, because once you get the standard devices, then you don't need cable, you don't need a lot of the infrastructure that's currently needed to provide excellent internet service. So we do expect it to, as it evolves more, be able to provide very good internet. Again, the 1 Gbps type levels of downloading activities just through your standard cellular service. And part of that, you see the different technologies involved, but the base stations, instead of having about 12 antennas, will have 100 antennas for 5G to be able to get the service out to much broader areas than currently is. And Earlysville hopefully will be one of them, although we're not quite there yet. So this is really what I thought would be important for people that are working from home, probably not all in Charlottesville, and are experiencing similar internet problems as I am, trying to conduct business and for my daughter's school, and still have decent performance with our internet service here. Any questions on that? And just go back. So with this slide here, again, it's comes back to having a much larger spectrum that's available for 5G, and because of that, they can carve out pieces of that spectrum that will that they can dedicate to things like first responders, things where you don't want to have any loss of internet service, where your phone drops out. AT&T has really pioneered that, or been the first ones to really, they're the ones who do all the first responder communications, because their network is the most reliable. And with 5G, everyone, all the providers will be able to carve out different networks, different parts of the spectrum to dedicate to those areas. So again, there's a lot less traffic, a lot more reliability in what's going to be coming with 5G, as opposed to what we have right now on 4G. Again, one of the problems with 5G, this is from Consumer Reports, but you can go on any of the providers' websites, and they'll be able to, they'll have a map that'll show where the coverage is. Don't quite have it yet. It is, we do have some 5G in Virginia, again, unfortunately for me, and others, not right in the Charlottesville area yet, but it's coming. Again, their target is going to be 100% coverage in the United States. T-Mobile's been kind of leading the way in this area, getting the 5G network out there, and that's kind of one of the sort of more good things for all of us who want to have better internet. There's a big race out there for the first one to have the best 5G coverage. It's pushing things along faster than they probably thought they could do to get the coverage out here and available. It's similar to the space race back in the day, and for us that'll benefit, but right now the coverage isn't close to the 100% that they've got in their targets, but it's coming quickly.
Scott, could I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you have any advice for businesses about how to get ready for 5G, or what businesses should be doing to make sure that when that coverage extends to their locations, that they're kind of ready to jump on it and take advantage of it?
Yeah, it does require, there's certain devices out there now that are 5G compatible, that will then give the Wi-Fi throughout the building where the business is, and be able to provide that high performance internet service. So that's something that's going to be needed. And again, that's where you also have to decide as business owners, just how fast do I need my internet to be? Because a lot of this is 5G is driven by gamers, and which every little bit, when you're doing that, every little bit of performance, they can take advantage of it, and that's really what's driving the 5G. So that's something that you certainly want to consider. At some point, the the pricing will come down. And I think that, that's kind of the goal. And then, most businesses will be able to go to something like that, get very high performance internet service, which again, if we ever get to that new normal everybody keeps talking about, there's going to be more of us working at home. And, I know depending on what I'm doing with my work, having better service than what I currently have would be important. Like even, with this, thankfully, I can still hear everybody and Zoom is working. But, I've lost that at times too. So I think the important thing for businesses is, just how fast do you need your internet to be? Because most of us don't need it to be super fast, but certainly in my case, if you, others that are dealing with DSL and, maybe a little bit older wiring in their houses, it's hard to get, any good performance out of the DSL. I've even had, CenturyLink out here, and the first thing the guy did was look at, my house was 1990, looked at my wiring, goes, nope, can't help you. Because, they do have some pretty decent DSL performances for, that would probably be okay for most businesses, again, depending on, how much data you're downloading or, these types of meetings. But, what I have is not really good enough for something like that, and this will make it very easy. Again, we had the one company come out that easily could have done it, except they couldn't go through the trees. So it'll be available for everybody. You just we'll need to get some of the equipment ready that's 5G capable. And again, at first that's going to be a little bit more expensive than just like TV I have now cost a lot more 5 years ago than what you can pay for it now. And it's going to be just like that with this. Again, there's one of the best things, a lot of the competition that's out there, it's going to get it to us quickly, and prices will start dropping. So that's sort of the key thing. As you can see here, certainly with all, again, the new normal, you'll be able to work more efficiently. You'll be able to have faster response for customer service, and don't really think about it, but even getting somebody on board, like when my wife had to start working from home, everybody in their business, she works at UVA, had to get all their equipment moved to home, and get ready to be able to work remotely. With the 5G, you won't have to worry about much of that. Available right away and be able to get up and rolling pretty quickly. But again, at first there's going to be a bit of a cost to it. Like with our company, what we do is try to save clients money on expenses. And with the 5G currently, it's not really something that's going to save them right away, because some of the equipment's a little bit expensive at this particular point. We do actually normally what we do is when we save money, our fees come out of just what we save. So it never costs our clients anything for using our services. But for something like this right now, if we were to work with them on getting 5G implemented, we would do that on a sort of regular consulting basis for a certain hourly fee. But the goal, at least for us, and paying attention to these things, is to be ready that when it's cost effective for the companies to use the 5G network as opposed to cable and DSL, which is often the case around here, that we'll be ready for that and be able to help our clients save some money by switching over to a 5G network.
Scott, remind me again.
Question.
Scott, could you remind me what the AR stands for? I know AI is artificial intelligence. What's AR?
Artificial reality. So that's the
Oh,
the main piece for the most part. That's again what's driving it. Where you've got the headsets and things that you put on for a lot of the gaming and
oh, gotcha. Okay.
works in they use
Thank
that now for their client services for speech and things. I think everybody's seen that commercial where the woman looks down when she's climbing the side of a building in AR and falls off of it. They're actually using that to help people with who are scared of heights. They're using the AR for that, and thankfully, I'm not much of a gamer. I have a Minesweeper on my phone, and we've got an old Pac-Man joystick downstairs, but that's about it. But the gaming business is really what's driving a lot of the 5G efforts and getting it out there and helping us get at least decent internet service. But they're the ones that are really driving it. And I guess a couple of other things that I thought was also, 6G's, 5G's not quite here yet. I think you said one thing with AT&T said it's nationwide. Yeah, just not. You can get it from one end of the country to the other, but not certainly all over the country yet. But just in spite of that, even with all the effort that's required to get 5G going, 6G's 7 to 9 years away, by many estimates. And then the low Earth orbit satellites are another actual real space race between three pretty powerful players in the business that are all trying to get that. And that's basically going to have satellites that are much lower than what you normally think about. Many are like 36,000 kilometers out in space, and these are going to be like 500 to a few thousand kilometers. And their goal is to have everybody in the entire world be able to get easy access to very high performance satellite systems. So their LEOs, they're expecting those to be about 5G capability. And it could be in the next few years where we'll see some of that come to fruition. But with those types of players in it, none of them want to be last, certainly. So that may be also something that will help get internet access all around the globe. So it's not, if you get those in place, you don't have to worry about putting in all the infrastructure right now that you would have to have for even the 5G network. Again, they're looking at new technologies, but there's a lot of infrastructure still that needs to go in place to support 5G. So that's exciting. And then again, right now, with the gaming industry, the cable companies and their fiber optics are staying, sort of one step ahead of the wireless universe here, and I expect that to always be the case, or at least for quite some time before we get to the point where there's no point in having all that cable infrastructure that's needed. The fiber optics do support a 5G network. So that's going to be there, but if you're a gamer and you want to get that one last little bit of extra performance, that'll likely be there. But again, that's where everybody's got to decide with their own business just how fast you need to be. Like a lot of people, when the next iPhone comes out or the next Samsung phone comes out, they have to have the latest and greatest. Whether that's needed for your business or not, I'm not sure, but that's always going to be there, I think, for quite some time anyway, just to get that little better performance that that's needed in the gaming industry. And again, with even with the like the first responders, where you absolutely have to have a solid network, cables there right now, but for in the future, the idea is with something like 5G to get that reliability, it'll be there, and you won't need cable necessarily for something like that. And again, with some of the wind and rain and things that we have here, and trees falling on power lines and telephone lines, having that 5G network, again, really, and again, that's why I picked this. It's sort of important to me, from a business standpoint. I think, that's something that I want to make sure people know is coming, know that there's going to be better options out there very shortly, and sort of be ready for that. But again, it all comes down to how much you want to spend, and exactly what performance do I need.
Scott, this is Ann Postak. I've got to run to another meeting, but I didn't want to leave without thanking you for this presentation. I learned a lot. You clarified a lot of things for me, and I appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you for the opportunity. And anybody have any other questions for me? Because that's basically all I wanted to go through.
Scott, I have a question for you. You've been talking primarily about the business community. What about consumers, your home use and things like that? Are we going to have to all buy new TV sets that are 5G or what?
No, the TV sets, well, actually, some of them will have to be, but if you get the Wi-Fi converter that's 5G capable, then you'll be able to use that like you can use it, use all your devices as you normally would for Wi-Fi. So that's kind of and there's again, newer technology for that you'd probably need to be able to take advantage of. If for consumers, if you want to use it on your phone, then you have to have a 5G capable phone. And I'm sure the phone companies aren't too upset about that at the moment, but again, just like you paid I paid a lot for a TV, and now I got one that's got a lot more capability and cost a lot less. Expect that to happen as the 5G equipment and availability becomes more prevalent.
Thank you.
But the chambers about businesses, but I think the bigger impact is going to be for the consumers like me.
Scott, it's Andrew again. If you would quickly cover some of the conspiracies surrounding 5G.
So are you talking about like the potential health issues, that type of thing?
That there's just so much out there. Yeah, and what's being done to allay some of those fears, if you will.
Yeah, it's the Cancer Society, World Health Organization. I don't know if Dr. Fauci's chimed in on it yet, but all the studies that they've done have shown that it's not hazardous, and the technology actually is kind of similar to like a Bluetooth or a baby monitor, which nobody passes any kind of judgment on. So I showed that one slide with the it goes through obstacles, and that kind of I think does raises a concern. But with those organizations, they've done studies on that. They prove it as being safe, and at this point, I guess that's what I know about that, and people still have to, again, make their own decisions, but I'm certainly not going to hesitate. And obviously, from what I've said, I'm really looking forward to having 5G availability.
Thank you.
Did I answer the question?
Yes. Are there any more questions before we
Definitely
wrap
help.
up? Yeah, for sure. Well, before we end, I did want to acknowledge our chamber president is on the call, Elizabeth, and just wanted to see if, Elizabeth, you had anything to say?
Hey there. Yes, I apologize. I had some connection issues earlier, but I'm thrilled to see that this meeting is recorded so I could catch the beginning of it. And just thank you for helping us share information with chamber members. The recording part of it is great because I do find there's a lot of activity, and we refer people to these types of presentations all the time. So thank you so much for coming and sharing your wisdom with us, Scott. And good to see everybody.
Thanks for the opportunity.
And Scott, so attendees could have one more opportunity. Say it again. I was just going to say, add your contact information.
Go ahead.
Just real quick, add your contact information, put that back on the screen in case people want to get it. There you go. Okay. And you were going to say something else, Scott?
So, I was just going to say that as Elizabeth was talking, was breaking up a little bit. Again, another reason why we need the 5G. Or I do, anyways.
Well, Scott, we really appreciate you doing this, and really good information. And as Elizabeth shared it, with it being recorded, we will be sharing it with our chamber members. And Anne Marie, thanks for again coming through with the save there.
Thank you.
And if there are no other questions, we hope the rest of you all have a great rest of the week. And again, Scott, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Nice seeing everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.